Coach, you said after the game you're disappointed with third down production. What were the issues going on there in your mind? Was there a common theme or just scatter shooting?
No, somebody asked me about a common theme after the game, so looking at it, I'd like to provide you with a common theme answer. But we just have little things that, and I'm taking this personally now. Third down, we need to do a better job on third down. That's my job, and there's some things we need to do as a staff, and there's some things we need to do the players on a key money down like third down, and to execute better. Some of the stuff that we did from a X's and O's plans standpoint we really liked, but we've got to do it better. We've got to be sharper. We've got to trigger the ball quicker, run a route better, make a better protection call, what have you. But and then sometimes you have a plan. The plan looks good on paper, and if it's not something we can execute, then you have to take a different approach. So with each play that we come up with on third down, we're going to make sure schematically it's sound. And then we're going to make sure in practice that we can get it executed on Saturday, and that'll be what we address this week, no doubt.
One of the bright spots from Saturday was obviously A.J. Brown eclipsing the Ole Miss receiving record. Give your thoughts on how he's played this year and kind of what that means to him.
Anytime we set a record or something, I'm happy. I think we're all happy for the individual player. It's a sign of how well he's played over the long haul. So we're all happy for A.J. I think it's interesting to watch him do what he does at the slot position and then be so prolific at the wideout spot also. And the things that you don't see about him are how much better a blocker he's become, and he's become a better route runner, and he's continued to be the threat after the catch that he's always been. And wherever he lines up for us, we're going to try to get him the football. So that won't change these last two games, but extremely proud of A.J. Brown.
There were also some times during the game where the blitzes that they drew up kind of got you a little bit, and there were some times where they had some players come in free. What do you think you guys can do to kind of shore that up going into the Vanderbilt game?
We missed one protection call. We did a great job down in the red zone on third down of protecting and knocking down that pressure, so it didn't get us twice. But there, like I said, we had a protection issue. We had a route issue. We didn't trigger the ball on one. We had a screen to the field that we didn't get to. And I'm going to make sure we get that shored up. And I think if we can improve third down, I think we can get this whole package put together where we want it to be.
Phil, obviously receivers get some good numbers in your system, but what does it mean for A.J. to reach this level in less than 3 seasons?
I mean, A.J.'s special. We've talked about him before. He's a total package guy. He can beat you deep, and he can beat you on short change of direction routes. He's an incredible weapon after the catch. He's got great hands. His blocking has improved tremendously. So he's a very rare breed of a total package receiver. I think we'd line him up a tight end or in the backfield or something, and he'd still be prolific. It wouldn't matter because he just has that great open field ability, and he's a mismatch guy. So to do it in 3 years, to me, is impressive. To do it in 3 years in the SEC is really impressive. He's playing and doing it against the best defenses, in college football, and so my hat's off to A.J.
With Scotty day-to-day, I'm just curious how you plan on handling the reps this week with Isaiah, Eric, and the rest of the running backs in practice.
Well, it's a great question. Scotty is day-to-day, and so, we've got Eric Swinney and Isaiah Ward. Isaiah went in and played really hard on Saturday. And then, we're looking at some other answers in case we need another player. But, yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a Scotty Phillips, it's got to be part of your plan. We lost Scotty Phillips' first play of the second drive. We lose Dawson Knox after the penalty, and we've got Jordan Tamu running around on maybe a little bit, a little less than 100%. And we had to make some accommodations in the game plan and make some adjustments. And on base downs, I thought we did a really good job. So this week, based on the health of our offensive team going into Saturday, we'll have a plan. If we have those guys, we'll have a plan. If we don't, so we're ready for it.
Matt was talking a little bit about how he felt like you guys missed Scotty's speed on the edge, especially
He
later in
does.
the
I mean,
game.
I think that's the one little extra item maybe that Scotty has that makes him a little different is he's really, really good in space. He can make a safety miss. He can run through an arm tackle. He does have a little lateral movement. He can cut well. And I think there were some scenarios where if he were out in the open field on some of those perimeter plays that we ran, there was some potential for some big plays. So, yes, we missed that. And if we get that on Saturday, we're going to utilize it. And if we don't, there'll be a plan for not having Scotty out there.
You mentioned Dawson not being able to play the first half of the Vanderbilt game. How do you think you guys can utilize Pellerin and Cooley during the game against Vanderbilt?
Well, really the same we did last week. I think we got the ball to Cooley a few times. He played a little bit more. I think that was a good experience for him because, and I told him after the game, I thought, he had a few mistakes, but he made some big plays. And it was good that he had to be in play after play after play. He had to push himself through some stuff. And normally we're rotating through those two tight ends, and he doesn't have to do that. But I think he found out Saturday he can when he has to. And we also use Jason Pellerin. So we'll use those two in the first half. Obviously, we'll be happy to get Dawson Knox back in the second half. And like I said, those are the circumstances right now, and so we'll plan for them.
Coach, there seems to be some numbers other than just points that are just down pretty precipitously from non-conference play to SEC play. One like completion percentage down over 20%. Is there, obviously SEC, you play the better athletes, you're playing a lot better teams. Is there certain things that you guys are doing in the offense that seem to just not really work as well going into SEC play?
It's not a matter of not working. You're playing against better competition. I mean, you've got guys in the SEC that can run with you. You've got guys that can change direction with you. It's just a higher level of competition. I think, we've got over 600 yards, I believe, against 3 SEC opponents, and there are some games we would like to have finished some drives in the red zone. Without a question, we need to be better on third down. I don't think that's just about competition. I think we've got to do a better job here of attacking, that situational area of offense. But outside of that, I've been happy about, where we are and what we're doing.
And going back to AJ, is his positional versatility, being able to excel in the slot outside, you mentioned being able to move him to tight end, whatever. Do you think that's something that'll help him moving forward whenever he does decide to take the leap to the next level?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Just with AJ, being able to play him in the slot, he excels in the outside. Yep. Being able to do all these different things, is that versatility something that you think will help him whenever he does decide to make the jump?
No question. I mean, he's going to be viewed in certain positions by each team. That's going to really be based on what that team needs. Some people may see him as a wide receiver. Some people may see him as a tweener and play him at both. Some may like him at slot. I can't answer for those. I just know he's versatile enough that you can move him around and play him because he has a little bit of speed. He has the size. He has great hands. He has great change of direction. He has the running ability after the catch that I keep talking about. So it makes him very, very marketable. Anytime you have a player at any position that's versatile and more diverse, it's going to make him a commodity, and I think that's really what you're getting in AJ. What they do with him is their decision.
Phil, would part of the running back plan this week include Armani or Tylen?
Tylen's doing a good job for us on defense, and Armani is too, but Tylen seems to be playing more. So I think right now the plan is to move Armani back over to offense, and he'll secure a third spot for us in the backfield. He's intelligent. He knows it. He did a great job when he was here. And just right now, if Scotty doesn't make it back on Saturday, that would be the strategy.